So we talked about tongue posture and we talked about lip posture, but we haven't talked about lip ties. So these are the exact same thing like tongue ties. They're a bit of connective tissue that connects the upper, the lower lip, or even sometimes the sides of the cheeks to the upper or lower gums, right? They can be just like frenums, like tongue frenums, they can be really tight, they can be a little bit more loose, they can be long, they can be thick. There's all different kinds of combinations. The upper tie in the middle of your Cupid's bow is the most common for everybody. Um, and then after that, the lower bottom one, and then sometimes people have some on the sides of their mouth, but the one in the middle is the most common. And what this does is just like your tongue, it prevents it from getting a full range of motion and being able to completely separate, right? So here's a couple of photos of what they look like before and after. So I want you to take a look at this woman. She's doing a nice little kissy face, and I want you to notice how far her lips are extending out of her face. In fact, they're actually passing her nose. It's past the tip of her nose, right? That really fabulous kissy face, right? That's what we want. We want that really large range of free motion, right? So let's take a look at another guy. Okay, so it looks like his lips are extending, right? You can see a little bit of space, like it looks like there's a little curve there, right? But if we investigate this further, what we see is that he is totally cheating, right? He's thrusting both his neck forward and lifting his chin up. So if we fix that, here's what he looks like now, right? Okay, well, now it doesn't really look like he's getting a good range of motion, right? In fact, he's not extending at all. Look at that little bottom lip. It's like 1 millimeter, right? And that upper lip isn't even moving at all. Look at it. He's just tensing it, but it's not actually getting any motion in it, right? Not compared to this lovely lady, right? So what's happening is that that tie in his upper lip is prohibiting his lips from moving outwards into that kissy face, right? Just like his bottom lip too, right? I mean, he's kissing like this, his little teeny tiny lips, right? So we as singers all know that we, kind of need our lips, right? We definitely need them for certain vowels, as we all know, like ooh, no, right? Duh. But the other thing is that our lips affect our tone color throughout our entire range, right? If I'm assuming most of us are classical singers, right? And even if we're not, most of us know that that MT sound is real nice and wide and brassy, right? And the classical operatic sound is a lot more relaxed and forward and rounded, right? The round is from the lips, of course. Now, not only that, but these lips are really going to have a huge effect on all of our compensatory patterns. You remember the gentleman I was showing you his video and how he could move in his lips to try to move his tongue? Well, singers do that too, right? You'll see them tense their face while they're trying to get a specific position, right? So again, these ties are restricting isolation because they're just mashing everything together. They're also affecting cheek mobility, which we'll talk about in 1 second. And I've noticed in my own personal studio that especially that upper lip tie really has a huge effect on singers being able to find resonance pockets and placements, especially in the front part of their face, especially in this masky area, right? If we're trying to get forward and we're singing like this, we're going to have a little bit of issue. So let's do an experiment. um, we're going to um, I want you to take one finger and I want you to very gently press on that Cupid's bow of your upper lip. Uh-huh. And then I just want you to close your teeth and make a fish face. That doesn't feel good, does it? Right? How many of you share in the chat are already feeling restriction, right? Right? Uh-huh. So, all right, let's take it one step further. Because we don't sing like this with our teeth closed. So let's put it back. And now I want you to let's pretend that you're going to sing, something in your upper passaggio. So you need a nice cheeky lift, right? So let's do a nice breath inhale in that position, right? You might start to feel this portion of your cheek fighting and antagonizing against this upper lip, right? Right? And you might start to feel this lower jaw start to get involved because it's not able to float on inhale, right? Uh-huh. Okay, well, let's take it one step further. Now I want you to pretend that you're going to onset a high note. So again, here, nice cheeky lift, and you're going to give yourself a lot of space. Now, what do you feel? I feel a lot of jaw tension, a lot of cheek tension, right? And I even notice, some of you may, that my tongue is a little tense. Does anyone feel tongue tension when they do that? I'm just curious. Cheek tension. Yes, tongue tension. I thought so. Uh-huh. Yeah, huh. Feeling all the tension. Yes. Right. So, something like our lips seems sort of like an afterthought for our technique, right? But just this one little experiment, we can see that it's not, right? How many of you have had a knee injury or a shoulder injury or a hand injury? And then, it doesn't get fixed right away. Maybe you're on crutches or something. And by the end of the first or second week, now your other knee's hurting. Now your other shoulder's hurting. That's exactly what's happening here, right? Your lip is not independent of the rest of your face. They all work together, right? So if you're having trouble with one, I can guarantee you it's affecting something else. Yes? All right, so let's do a really easy experiment. These ones are nice and easy because they do just function solely on if you can see them or not. So these are nice and easy. You're just going to take two fingers like a little crab. You're gently going to pinch either side of your Cupid's bow. You can turn your video on and use it like a little mirror, and you're just going to lift your upper lip, and you're going to see if you have a little sail, like a sailboat in there. And then let me know what you find. You also might want to check your bottom, and you also might want to check the size of your cheeks up here. Yes, 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 tongue and lips. Yes, thank you, patients. I want to say that that is very common. If you have a tongue tie, any kind of tongue tie, your chances for a lip tie skyrocket, right? It's very unusual for us to have no tongue tie and a lip tie. So you're normal. Are we not supposed to have a lip tie? No, we are not. We are not. But again, like I said with these statistics, right? We're not supposed to have tongue ties, and yet 75% of people have some sort of tongue tie. It's the same thing like lip ties. We're not supposed to have them, and so many of us do. Great. Now, all of these people that are telling me that you have a really, really thick lip tie, can you just shoot in the chat real quick? I'm curious how many of you struggle with rounded closed vowels, especially on the top part of your range where you need a little bit more space, and or if any of you had a lot of jaw compensation, right? Or a lot of cheek issue. Oh my God, yes, 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 yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now that all makes sense. Always struggled on those vowels. Isn't that interesting? What do you mean by a sail? Oh, I just mean that that frenum sometimes looks like a little triangle shape, right? Like those pictures I showed before. That's all I mean. Trouble with ooh. Yeah, ooh is a tricky one because we need both a high back tongue, a high middle tongue, and a rounded lips. So that's like the trifecta problem vowel for people that have ties. Nathan, just because you see the frenum does not mean you have the tie. Oh, if it's lip ties, yes. If you see it, you have it. If it's tongue ties, it has to be functionally assessed. Great. Yes, there should be no flesh there at all. It should be absolutely straight all the way across. Thank you all so much for those questions.